Where? I go to where?
You live in a working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from to my working area. The police people, before the man call me back, I was on the 18th. They more.
The same man now.
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go steal.
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now I was in the around about 8:30. The man called me. He said, "Oh, my man, I'll let you be there and call you back again."
So that time you go to where?
I go to where? I go to where?
You live in a working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go steal now.
No, I'm not go steal. I go steal. I go to yeah. How you question me, man? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear now?
Okay, let's go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say.
When they call you in the now.
When the man call me in the
yeah.
He asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the man, say, you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to
the man said, you want to give you what?
Tea. Hot milk tea.
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
The bread?
3 pieces of fruit bread.
With egg inside?
With egg inside, my butter. So when I carry it to the man, say carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the fool man give you now, you carry it so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man, the man say thank you. I say okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right here. So one of my friends called me.
Yeah, the same man you going to now.
Yeah, the same man.
And the man tell you say he want for you to go steal.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep.
In the Jeep. Then there are 2.
A big Jeep.
Yeah. Black BG. 4 Doji.
4 Doji.
Yeah. So when I clean the car now.
Air condition all inside.
No. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll lead the whole tour now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people like come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you double in the question, you say when I move from here, I'll free. You say when I move from here, I'll free. If you say one talk again, I wanted to mean who talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, land looking, hi, looking, then you want force another more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And say they call me to the office, I go explain.
I think you explain to me that you come to get you say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man, you come now. So what next now?
For me, I will not fair.
Nobody, you getting very, you say asking you too much question. Hey, just explain things, say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry. Okay, I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay, explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go ahead now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Sorry.
Say Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I said I can take time
to explain. Yeah, okay.
Musa Belete stole 180,000 in tax money from the Liberian government, for which he was dragged to court 2010. 2012, he was announced convicted. This is the man also condemned by FIFA as a fraudster. This is the man who is in the midst of the CPP, and the CPP is now throwing what I call a cordon sanitaire around him. Now, if you have a guy who is a potential contaminant and you have it in your midst, what do you think will happen? He will contaminate everybody. You know, this man is a walking corruption virus. Anything he comes in contact with, anything he touches, he contaminates. The CPP will be contaminated very soon because my own Liberty Party is now contaminated. People in the Liberty Party who took Picot Trust from Belete, today they are defending him up and down the country. They are defending, even though they know Mr. Belete was condemned by FIFA for 10 years as a fraudster, even though they know Mr. Belete was convicted of tax evasion, fraud, they still defend him because he was able to get them Picot Trust. Musa Belete stole 180,000 in tax money from the Liberian government, for which he was dragged to court 2010. 2012, he was announced convicted. This is the man also condemned by FIFA as a fraudster. This is the man who is in the midst of the CPP, and the CPP is now throwing what I call a cordon sanitaire around him. Now, if you have a guy who is a potential contaminant and you have it in your midst, what do you think will happen? He will contaminate everybody. You know, this man is a walking corruption virus. Anything he comes in contact with, anything he touches, he contaminates. The CPP will be contaminated very soon because my own Liberty Party is now contaminated. People in the Liberty Party who took Peacock Trust from Ability today, they are defending him up and down the country. They are defending, even though they know Mr. Ability was condemned by FIFA for 10 years as a fraudster. Even though they know Mr. Ability was convicted of tax evasion, fraud, they still defend him because he was able to get them Peacock Trust.
At this time, I will ask the question, why now? Why not when we had on-mail sitting down here? Why not when Helen Johnson told you she spent money on the rebels? Why not when you had men that are sitting down in power today, confessing that they did this, they did that? You never brought the war crime court, but it is now that the wounds are being healed and you want to bring the war crime. Why now? So then why did the international community allow her to run for the presidency? So even the international community are abettors of the crime in Liberia because she should have never ran. I'm saying the UN is an abettor to the crimes in our country. We should stop this thing. These our slave masters are still running our countries and messing us up.
Representative George, where do you stand with the establishment of the war crime court?
I say, why now? That's my question.
Why now? It's just a question.
I do not accept it now.
You don't want it.
So when do you want it? After President tenure?
It should have been ever since. You have allowed Helen Johnson to be president for our country for 12 years for what? After she abetted war, she told you she financed the war, and then they put her in power. Why now? Now that we are in charge, check the TLC report. What does it say? What does it depict? What are the conclusions concerning the TLC report? You've breached it already by allowing the past president to run and then assume power for 12 years. Then you coming to us now and talking to us as if we are fools. You think the Liberian people are fools? You want to bring commotion in our country? Let's take the world and see what is happening out there. We, as the people's deputies, must take it to our people.
Okay.
Hold town hall meetings once, twice, thrice maximum and discuss it with the people. And from what the people say, because we'll have the press there, we'll have some of you there. When I'm holding my meeting or my meetings, you will be there. I will hold a meeting down West Point. I will hold a meeting at the Newport Junior High School. I will hold a meeting down the PHP Center Street area. I will hold a minimum of 2 meetings, but I would like to go 3 big ones that we will have people assemble that are residents of our district and tell us how they feel. If the people themselves say, well, we want a war crime court, then we will go to it. We will go to it.
Posted on his Facebook and LinkedIn page that he graduated from St. Peter Clever High School in Buchanan, 1989. When people show up from St. Peter Clever High School...
Was that not the case? Was that not the case?
Oh, but brother, right now the evidence they don't show to you now. You ain't driving from St. Peter again because the witnesses from St. Peter were overwhelming. They said, Delon, you ain't driving from our school. Why you lying? Then he suddenly went to Wellhurst. He said, oh no, I forget. I don't St. Peter I graduated from. That Wellhurst I graduated from now. You see, brother, how can one man graduate from 2 high schools in the same year? How is that possible, brother? It's not. So it shows that this brother...
Maybe he's a genius.
But if you say 2 high schools, you won't graduate from...
You'll be sarcastic.
Let's get serious, brother. We will not do this for our country.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I can call you names of people who testify to the fact that Delon did not graduate from St. Peter, for which he took down. He took down his first CV that indicated that he graduated from Wellhurst. I got a picture of that CV because Delon was in a major debate with a colleague of mine called Lami Pagoy. It was Lami Pagoy who pushed Delon. And then Delon took down. He already took down the CV that said he graduated from Wellhurst. He graduated from St. Peter Clever High School in Buchanan. And so that man who said he graduated from St. Peter Clever High School in Buchanan 1989 turned around because witnesses showed that he did not graduate from St. Peter and said he ran to Wellhurst and said, oh, that Wellhurst I graduated from now. But even at that, he is yet to show an authentic document like the YS certificate to convince us that he is a bona fide high school graduate. He has not done so. Even the document he submitted to Lok Shaba, the Indian Parliamentary Training Program, we are told that in that document,
I asked somebody rest yesterday. Not a dirty rest.
But what you were saying, the people in the plaza, you said that you pull it.
Talk to my German brother, Senator Delon. Senator Delon, I want you to know that you are not okran with the TRC report. Every time you see me, come in. No, when you were speaking, you didn't say order. When you were speaking, you did not say order. Whenever time you see me, you talk about war crime court. I must tell you, the people of Nimba were declared enemy of the state. They were being butchered or slaughtered like chickens and goats, and we have to defend ourselves to survive today. Deal with the issue that is on the floor. Deal with the issue on the agenda. But this boy who has his own record of gazing, who's the boy? You know him. No. Then every time he sees me, he talk about Walk Ranko, Prince Johnson, Walk Ranko. When you see me, I want you, Mr. Pro Tem, give me a time, set a special date. I will brief the Senate. I will enlighten you. I will teach you. I will tutor you by using the very TLC that justice was not done to. Before the fraud, irregularities. This is why the commission divided into two.
I like it. I like it.
trendybeats.com.
Yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for that art with me. The rod and the star, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Monday, the first day of May 2023. What a pleasant way. I'd like to welcome you to the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1, and on our social media pages via Facebook at ABC Radio 105.1 Official. Like and follow our page on YouTube at ABC Radio 105 Official. And also via the Radio King app. All you need to do is download Radio King, RADIOKING, via your Apple Store or Google Play Store, and search for ABC Radio 105.1 Official. Good morning and welcome to the program this morning. Lots of things to talk about. The program is loaded, very, very loaded. As always, we will say some comfortable things and some uncomfortable things. It depends where you sit on the political aisle. But today is International Labor Day. And I'd like to say hats off to all of our men and women, young people who are involved in the different employment areas. A happy World Labor Day. I'll say happy International Labor Day.
More music on Trendy.
And so welcome to the program this morning. I laugh. Welcome to the program this morning, the 1st of May 2023. The poor guest on they say I just laugh. But good morning and welcome to the program, folks. It's great to be here this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. There are lots of activities that went on during the weekend. I don't know whether you were part of some of those activities, and as well as the politics of our country. But welcome to the program. So many things to talk about. Like I said, our motivational quote for this morning says, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Because if you have a goal, you definitely chase that goal and make sure it comes to fruition. But if you tie it to people, the mood those people are in determine your mood as well, which obviously means your life will not go anywhere. And it's basically for our boys that are always saying baku baku baku. You tie your life to baku baku. The day baku say, my man, I won't see you, then your whole day feel bad. Just tie it to a goal, okay? But my colleague Dennis Nipson is right in the building right now. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Fidel. Good morning.
And you need to go and look for the video, ABC Radio 105 official, and see how Dennis is attired this morning again. I mean, this lady has a niche for looking good. I don't know, at a certain moment of your life, did you at one point decide to be a model or something of that sort?
You can call Sam.
Yeah, but the lady knows how to, combine colors. And every time I see her, it reminds me of our former president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I mean,
hello.
Yeah, the woman know how to combine colors. But good morning, Dennis.
You also, you look good. Good morning, Fidel.
Like I always say, looking good is a business.
I know.
And it's a business we're not willing to substitute for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how was your weekend?
Yeah, my weekend was a bit busy, but okay. And on last week, I was part of a training that was intended to combat crime against women in the media and politics. So that was refreshing. Training. And also the weekend, like I said, was busy, but also restful as well. So it is good to be back on this new week and a new month.
Exactly.
Yes. And how was yours?
Well, I had a great weekend. Did some resting. I did some resting, and then I did some outing as well. I mean, we have to combine the two.
Yeah.
All right. Because the work that we do is stressful.
Yeah.
And so that's why they say these journalist boys are grown-up boys. But it's all about, you go on the field, like people who are reporters go on the field all day. From Monday to Friday, Saturday, and then you have to take a day out to de-stress, because the work is actually imagine you have to come here every time, research, stay up late nights. I mean, it's not easy, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes, sir. So our African proverb this morning says, the sun does not forget a village because it is small. The sun does not forget a village just because it is small. So the sun shines on big villages, small villages. I mean, this goes to say, when God ready to bless you, whether you're in the wholesale, God will locate you.
Yeah,
He will locate you. So folks, that's it this morning. So many things to talk about. Yes, Boaka, former Vice President Joseph Boaka has finally picked someone, and as predicted, Denise, he has picked Jeremiah Kung.
Sure.
We will look at that ticket. Technically, we'll look at that ticket, how it fits. But the big news over the weekend was this issue of Samuel Tue, threat of his resignation, and there were news from all corridors that he had threatened to resign, and that he had told the president, in fact, he has already filed in his resignation letter. But we will look at that this morning. We have details of all of the developments regarding that, and as well as this hospital called Hope for Women.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lots of bad news from there, and we have a documentary. We did a research on this in an institute, and we were able to gather testimonies from a lot of people, which we will play for you this morning. That a hospital should be a place of healing. It should not be a place where people go to moon. So we'll talk about the Hope of Women. And then district number 8, Representative Akaras Gray. He's always in the news for the bad reason. I mean, for the wrong reasons. This is the man that brings nothing to the table. when it comes to the current CDC dispensation. I mean, he is a man of the old, and it's basically because those who actually looked at him as being a godfather, a cheerleader, the once vocal critic of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the guy who stood in the rain and sun to ensure that President George Weah is elected. The guy has 360 degrees deviated from all of those things that he represented. He is a new guy now, and that new guy is the one who's advising the president that Kupo Kra, the chairman of the MDR, why he had to be at the Unity Party endorsement of Jeremiah Kun program. You see, the memo resign or the president will fire him. You
Imagine
see,
that.
yeah, the guy, they are Carol's great man. So now I can think whether he can be to his head. We'll talk about that this morning on the program, but stay tuned, don't go away. We have to take our traffic alerts this morning.
Yeah.
Dennis, was it like in an area? What are those potential threats and traffic alerts areas in the Painesville end?
Yeah, so as usual, the traffic alert from the RIA way when you're leaving from the RIA to LY Junction onto town. There's traffic around the Kenninjack Junction, the Kenninjack intersection with the rehab side, and also at the rehab junction, and especially because of the road construction ongoing, there's this issue of traffic congestion, and also onward to the sport complex, and to SD Cooper Road, because those living from that side now been diverted to the SD Cooper Road because of the road construction. So you experience traffic at the SD Cooper and the intersection there, going towards the AW Junction because of the road construction. Everyone now using that area, so there's huge traffic there when you reach at that point, meaning that you have to do your best to pass that area as far before 7 a.m. And also at the Boulevard Junction, you experience a bit of traffic because of the intersections there in a major junction. Also at the 540 end, there's always traffic there because of the vehicles, the movement of vehicles from the Congo Town back road to the main Boulevard end. And you also experience a bit of traffic at the Catholic Junction. You have an intersection, and also 20th Street as well. There'll be a little traffic upward to 12th Street, 9th Street belt because of the various intersections. Yeah, so that's it for the traffic alert.
Okay, so you already have the traffic alerts for the Painesville, and thanks to the Ministry of Public Works, they've been doing some road on the Bourgeois Island and reconditioning basically. And so if you're using the route from Douala to Freeport of Monrovia up to the Gilbert Tucker Bridge, there is a bit relief. There is a relief on those who are commuting from that end to town. There's not much of traffic experience because most of these traffic congestions were caused by these potholes, and people cannot move at a maximum speed because you're afraid to jump in a hole and what have you. But I think that has been addressed by the Ministry of Public Works temporarily, and so thanks to the Ministry of Public Works for the reconditioning of that road. It's not perfect, so to speak. It is not perfect, but at least you can plow the road and smoothly. Okay, and so we don't expect much traffic to be at that end, but coming from the Douala end, obviously there's always traffic there, and so you should also be aware of that as you hit the Mumbo Town end and go through Mumbo Town, that is. Getting to the Caldwell Bridge, also expect traffic there as well. And if you're coming from Caldwell, the New Georgia Junction, the Caldwell Bridge, and as you use the Logan Town route, there's no much of traffic, and so you navigate your way through to Freeport of Monrovia. Remember now, at the Freeport of Monrovia, there's only one side of the road that is being used because the Ministry of Public Works is also doing some work there. I don't know the contractor, but there's road construction ongoing there. The left side of the road coming from town has already been dealt with. New culverts were placed there, and then it appears like the road is taking shape. The right side of that corridor is actually has been dug, and the culverts are also being placed there, so it will be a lease of life on those who are commuting around that end in the not too distant future. And if you're coming from the Japanese freeway end, obviously you should be aware of traffic around there's a Batnersville Junction, New Georgia Junction, and in some cases Chicken Soup Factory. All right, so those are our traffic alerts this morning, just to make you aware that there are different traffic points across this Monrovia and Greater Monrovia, and you should be aware of that, folks. That's it this morning. We like to say happy birthday to our correspondent, our Maryland County correspondent, Patrick Mensah. Okay, Patrick Mensah celebrates his birthday on today. Happy birthday to you, Patrick.
Happy birthday, Patrick. And I also like to say happy birthday to Lucretia.
Okay.
She celebrates her birthday.
Lucretia, happy birthday, beautiful. We wish you all the best. Do all you can. And all of those who are celebrating their birthday on today, we like to say happy birthday to you. The president has made some appointments, Denise, and we'll read through those appointments. At this point, when the president is making appointments, Denise, you have to know that it is strategic. And that is why the focus is on the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I mean, those different statutory districts across the country, those are the areas that the president is actually making appointments. He's been very strategic. Yesterday, president, he not do that, Yo land. But let's go across the country right now and speak with our correspondents, beginning with our man Prince Wamplu. For some reason, we've not been able to get Prince Wamplu over the time. I tried contacting him over the weekend. Again, I couldn't get him to a certain as to what's going on, but I hope he's doing okay. Let's get in contact with him right now and see whether we can get him as well on the program. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. Share the video and hold it there. Juicy news coming up, especially with this Sabia Tuete. Our man Prince Wamplu is currently on the line. Prince, good morning.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning to Dennis and our many listeners.
Good morning.
How have you been? I tried contacting you over the weekend. Again, I couldn't get to you. I hope you're doing okay.
Well, I'm better now. We've been fighting the communication issue, but I'm much better now.
Okay, that's good. Great to have you back. What is the trending issue? First of all, how is the weather in Grand Bassa? Buchanan, to be specific.
Yeah, Fidel may be aware Grand Bassa County is down to 5 from the Atlantic Ocean, meaning that the current season is against our working field, so I would say, because it's almost every day it's a rainfall, heavy downpour of rain. It's something of a custom now in Grand Bassa County, especially during the rainy season.
Okay, that's good. What is the trending issue in Buchanan, Grand Bassa, holistically?
Well, thank you. Right after the Unity Party, Senator Barrett announced his running mate, just a few days later, the Ambassador Boaka have been captured at the residence of Senator John Kanga Lawrence over the weekend as a form of consultation. We have been told that that meeting was intended to explain the reason of this election and call for reconciliation. That's coming from the former Vice President office. So Senator Lawrence was in Buchanan over the weekend, and as well as the former Vice President, and they discussed. But before that, Liberty Party, Senator Barrier daughter, the late Dr. Charles Walker Bronski, Dr. Charles Bronski, had her 100-man march in Buchanan City right after the announcement of the running mate by Ambassador Boakai. Charles Bronski had a 100-man march. And after the 100-man march was intended to call on the Liberty Partisans. There's a need to, they have to keep hope. They'll do better in the time to come. They should not lose hope based upon what happened within the Liberty Party. The Liberty Party have been kicked back, and this is now where her leader wanted to see the Liberty Party. So, yeah, supporters gathered the night. The principal street of Buchanan, where they have gone to officially listen to Charlie Bronski, giving hope to them. In the political community of Grand Bassa County, it is something not to be very exact of where would the Liberty Party go. There are some people now pushing that the Liberty Party will definitely split. Some will go to the ruling establishment. Some are saying, let wait on what the political leader. And then from the anchor of the Musa Bete faction of the Liberty Party, we've been recognized in Grand Bassa County as well. They are saying that wherever the senator of Grand Bassa County go will support, it's not the Liberty Party going there. It is this and the Lawrence and not the Liberty Party, because as far as they are concerned, she has been expelled by the party chairperson. So therefore, they were not honored, or there's no way beyond her going to join another party. So yes, Grand Bassa County is politically charged, and especially from the opposition standpoint.
Okay, good. So we now know that the former vice president was in Buchanan over the weekend, visiting with Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence as a sign of reconciliation.
That's correct. That's correct. And we hope to get detail of that the gathering. We will keep knocking on the doors of the senator and other people around the senator.
Okay. Is there any other thing we need to know from Grand Bassa?
Sure. Quickly, a 17-year-old boy, 12th grade student, dropped on the field of play dead as a result of his illness, asthma. He once played for the Sam Johnson Academy. Then he's 12th grade student at the Buchanan Open Bio Center School System. Abu Kamara, very famous kid, smart. He had gone to play at the training ground, the club team training ground. And while into the air, he came down and his asthma woke up. And there was no way for the colleagues to help him in terms of rescue. And so a very influential, enterprising young man passed up in Buchanan City.
When did this happen?
As well. After Friday of last week, he had gone to do a practice after regular school. And then he fell on the field of play and his asthma woke up. There was no one around to help him. So yes, after he was rushed to hospital, he was later on pronounced dead.
Okay, thank you so much, Prince. It's nice having you back on the program.
Thank you so much for that. I like how you are ending the back of the program. Thank you for that.
Thank you. All right, is our man Prince Wampulu there from Grand Bassa County. Let's go to Bong County where our man Nathan Kali is and find out what's obtaining in Bong County this morning. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 State Port. We have some juicy news for you, and then thought-provoking analysis as well. It's right here for you this morning on the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We're trying to establish contact with our man Nathan Colley in Bong County, Central Liberia, that is, and find out what's going on there in Bong County. Nathan is on the line right now. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, hello, manager, and good morning to your coach for this morning.
Damn, they've kind of tattooed the bug and give me say. But it's great to have you. How was your weekend, Nathan?
My weekend is already fine. Thank God for life.
Okay, and how is Bong County this morning?
Bong County is relatively calm this morning, and we had a very good weather.
Good weather. Well, I think it rained in Monrovia, right, Dennis? It rained in Monrovia.
Yes, sure.
So you were lucky.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Bong County is very lucky.
Okay, let's go. What's the trending issue in Bong County right now?
I like the Bong Technical College over the weekend. It held IFTAS commencement convocations and the over 266 students from different disciplines. We're talking about the College of Agriculture, College of Science and Technology, also type of teaching there in other colleges in the country. And like I stated, the vice president were posted for the
president.
But surprisingly, the president of the University of Liberia, Dr. Julia G. Nelson Jr., he the one served as the communication commencement speaker on that day, and he called the students to be peaceful in the process, and he always encouraged them to always say that because we are heading to election, and the occasion are really colorful like this. But unfortunately, what happened, we did not see any member of the Bong County Legislative Caucus, and so it was like surprising. You will not be having a convocation. They just see members of the county leadership. So I think some students expect didn't chairman over the process.
Have you been able to establish reasons behind the absence of members of the Legislative Caucus?
Yeah, after the program, we placed a call to the caucus chairperson, person of the Honorable Mama Bridge Mesa, and she said that the candidate.
Oh, too bad. We lost our man Nathan Colley. Let's re-establish contact with Nathan Colley there in Bong County, but he said the graduation. Okay. All right. Okay, I think I have an issue. You have to take it from your end. There's problem here, Dennis. A big
Okay.
problem. Dennis will take it from our okay. Dennis will take it from our end. We will also endeavor to establish contact with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. Okay, we'll stick it at that. Dennis, let's go straight to our talking points. But let's see whether we can speak with
Yes, I'm trying to get to Nathan.
Nathan. Okay, all right. Dennis is trying to get to Nathan this morning. Apparently his number is busy. His number is busy.
There's network issue.
Yeah,
He's
network
out of
issue.
area.
Okay, can you get another correspondent while we're trying to behind the scene sort things out here? Okay, but this is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 on your radio, and juicy things to talk about. Nafa is in the southeastern part of Liberia. So we'll speak with Trokan Freeman from I think they are in Sino County now. I'm sure they are in Sino County. We establish contact. Is it Frederick Kumen?
Frederick Kumen
From Grand Crew County. Go ahead, Dennis.
Good morning, Frederick, and welcome to the Morning Breeze.
It's kind of low.
Yes, Frederick. Okay.
Go ahead.
Bring her up to speed as it relates to Grand Crew County.
Well, so for Grand Crew County, the voters registration process is still ongoing, and all of the lawmakers, the Senate pro tempore, the deputy speaker and Grand Crew County District Number 2 representative, Councilor Kofa, and the other lawmakers, sons and daughters of Grand Crew from Monrovia and other parts of the country are currently posted in the county to make use of the voter registration exercise in the county.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
so,
what? The
voter registration process, it is the constitutional right of every citizen, as we always say, that about 20, citizens were brought into the county by the Liberian Deputy Speaker, Councilor Kunatin Kofa, to make use of the voters registration process, including, our members from other counties. But the challenging part here is that an aspirant from Grand Crew County District Number 1, Alfred Sakobo, is taking citizens of Grand Crew, citizens of District Number 1, District Number 2 to District Number 1 to get registered in the biometric voter registration exercise. Something which is not good for the people of District Number 1 because it has a propensity to undermine the developmental group. So even the traditional chieftain of Grand Crew County, though he was heading the people of District Number 2 here, he was so angry, he appeared on the radio and he's calling on the aspirant, the District Number 1 aspirant of Africa, to desist from such act because over thousands of citizens have been taken from District Number 2 to go to District Number 1 and get registered simply because he has provided $1,005 Liberian dollars for the people. And the other thing is that if the people get there for the registration, you understand that he's not going to give them anything. The only thing is he transport them there. So after the registration, now they will come back to their district. And the only time he's going to compensate them is when the voting process reaches where he will be at the door, he will be there and he will go and vote and all of that before he can compensate. So it's very much challenging. And over the sons and daughters of Grand Crew, those educated people from Monrovia, they are expressing disappointment that their mothers, their brothers, the youth will be leaving from that district and going to other districts to get registered. Something they said is going to slow down the developmental movement of that district because population brings development, and whatever budget that has been passed or whatever development that is for District Number 2, if the population is decreased, then of course that development will have to go to District Number 1. So it is a challenge here.
Okay. Thank you, Frederick Kumen.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, we now go to Nima County to connect with our correspondent, Joseph Kekula, right? Joseph Kekula in that part of the country, and we know that following the pronouncement of the VP, the former VP Ronnie Mate, there was some issue some citizens in that county. So he will bring her to speed. But I think Joseph Kekula cannot be reached at this point in time. Let us continue to establish contact with him as we go to Nima County to hear what is unfolding as it relates to the happening in that part of the country. And Joseph Kekula is our correspondent from that part of the country. So we are trying to establish contact with Joseph Kekula to bring her up to speed as it relates to the development. Hope this time it's not network issue. And always network issue. Yes, as it relates to that.
Okay.
So we cannot get to him. I think the issue, the network problem, they will be set in the morning and then network issue.
All right. Yes, so that's it right here this morning on the Morning Breeze. We close it up. Let me get our man Walcott Carey there in Margibi County and find out what's going on in Margibi this morning on the program. This is the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. And hey, stick it there. Don't go anywhere. The real juice is coming up right after this segment. Our man Walcott Carey is on the line. Good morning, Walcott.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to our valued listeners.
How is Margibi this morning?
As we speak, the weather condition is partly cloudy and there's a tendency of us experiencing rain, but relatively the county is calm and peaceful despite the political heat that is ongoing.
Okay, that's good. Tell us, what is the trending issue now in Margibi? What is happening there?
Well, top among most of the trending issues, quite besides education, health, and even the marketers' situation that is ongoing, but paramount amongst all, over the weekend, over 60 religious leaders from various churches in Kakata City, Margibi County, gather themselves or conglomerate at the Apostolic Baptist Church, headed by one apostle, Momo Lincoln Boku. And according to the pastors, they said they are in support of the senatorial bid of former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, now retired Minister McGill, to run in Margibi County for the senatorial seat. And according to them, they said Minister McGill, former Minister McGill, is in fulfillment of what he did, especially in the Holy Bible, quoting the book of 1 John chapter 1 verse 9, which says, if we confess our sin, he is faithful and just and will forgive our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. So according to these senior religious scholars, they said Minister McGill, former Minister McGill to be precise, by coming out and confessing to the Liberian people of alleged theft of funds and giving it back to the Liberian people is a true confession from his mouth, and these are the people that God wants to transform for the betterment of our country. So they said, for these reasons, Minister McGill is one of those Liberians who they consider to be very patriotic and honest indeed to his conscience.
Okay, but Walcott, let's get this clear. According to the men of God, the fact that McGill had confessed that the money that he was taking, allegedly confessed, so to speak, that the money he was taking, he's giving it back to Liberians, so they are right to accept whatever they want from him. Is that what they said?
Exactly, and this is the interpretation, and this is what the religious scholars said. So for these reasons, they said they are in full support of the senatorial bid, and in fact, they will be front runners for his campaign. And they said also in the book of Isaiah, the government will be upon the shoulder of the church. So for these reasons, since his confession is down deep from the bottom of his heart, coming from his mouth to the Liberian people, they will support him.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other thing we need to know?
Well, it's just that the Ministry of Education, through its minister, Professor D. Ansu Soni, there are rumors coming from the four corners of Magibi County that the minister is not in country because of one or two issues. He has flown and his family to India. So for these reasons, Magibians are in worry. They are very worried to see how best the ministry could probe intervention in at least monitoring the education system, despite the challenges that are unfolding when it comes to compensation, prompt and timely compensations of teachers who have been in the classroom, impacting lasting knowledge to our younger generations for better Liberia. But they call on officials of the ministry that they need to be very, very proactive and very responsive to addressing most of the challenges that are unfolding in the education sector. And even the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Magibians, especially parents, are also calling on the Director General, Marcus Zawe, to see how best they could step up efforts, at least to regulating the drug issues and affairs for the rescuing of our younger generations who are now taken into drug addiction more than their schooling work. So these are some of the issues, and it is very critical in Magibi County.
Okay, thank you so much, Wakat. It was nice having you on the line this morning.
It is my pleasure as Wakat Kiri, ABC Radio Al Jazeera reporter in Magibi County.
Oh, the boy got a bottle one of this. The men reporting for ABC Radio the best day. Al Jazeera. But folks, welcome.
Can we establish contact with Samuel Bole?
Okay.
There's report of some 3 million donated by the president or something.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's get to man Samuel Bole. Samuel Bole. I just let the boy report. They make be talking for the newsmaker. Samuel Bole. Let's get to our man Samuel Bole this morning. For some reason, Smith, I look darker than I should be this morning. I'm looking at myself on the screen a little bit darker. Yeah, let me breast more. Yeah. All right, we're trying to get our man Samuel Bole. What we've heard, the president has given $3 million to the people of Lofa. This is good news. Good news. Again, let me get his alternative number and call his alternative number. Apparently, okay, Samuel is not through. Is not through, so we can't get him this morning. But we've reached a very important point of our program, straight out discussion segment. Before that, let me speak with Chokon Freeman from NAFA. They are in the southeastern part of Liberia, and let's speak with him, Dennis, this morning and find out what are they doing in the southeastern part of Liberia, the NAFA folks there, and let's know what's going on this morning on the program. Then you will do plenty talk in the morning. Okay, Chokon Freeman is from the communication department at the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. Chokon Freeman is now on the line from the southeastern part of Liberia. Good morning, Chokon, and welcome to the Morning Breeze.
I feel honored, for such a call this morning video, and hats up to Dennis and the wonderful people of Liberia and those following your platform.
Now, first, let's look at you getting to the southeastern part of Liberia before we talk about what you've done there. How are the roads like in terms of easy commuting?
Challenge could be an honest opinion of how terrible the road is.
Okay.
The road is terribly bad. The road is terribly bad. And if you were to come here for your first time, if you hit maybe around out here, you will be discouraged and thinking, that you can make it, you want to go back. Yes, so the road is terrible. I will share with you some photos we took along the road, but we are between Sano and Grand Crew at the moment. We initially planned to travel along the Nema route, passing through Gamda to Grand Jide, and of course passing through Maryland, coming to Riverside. But because of the terrible situation there, so we decided to use the Riverside, and we pass through Riverside to Sano, Grand Crew, then we'll go to Maryland, and then we'll start the engagements from there. Perhaps that will lead to your next question, what the essence
exactly
of the purpose of the visit. The Director General says since she took over, she has not visited fisher folks in this part of the country.
Okay.
We have 9 coastal counties. Most of the activities, most of our engagement, personally our engagements are around Mosrado, Grand Bassa, Cape Mount, Stormy, and of course, yeah. But this time she has not been to Riverside, Sano, Grand Crew, Maryland. So she wants to see the living condition of the people. The DG has a vision. Her vision is to transform Liberia into a fishing nation. So this is just part of series of interventions the fisheries sector wants to make to making the life of the people better. You are aware in this part of the country we've distributed Yamaha machines to the fishermen. We distributed fishing nets. There are some of the nets that are very bad. They want to call the rubber net, and they are non-biodegradable. They hardly to get sport is difficult. It's not spending about 50 years into the water.
Wow.
So the water, so is understood. There's a registration on those kind of nets, and so we brought in what is certified by the world, by the United Nations, by the FAO, and we brought in life jackets, to save fishermen. I see them when they want to go to fishing. Sometimes the kidnap capsize, they don't have the necessary gear that will help them. You go first, but if you are in distress, for example, the kidnap capsize and you haven't life jacket on, the likelihood of you being saved is high as compared to you not having life jacket.
Exactly.
So we distribute the life jackets. The next thing we're going to distribute is what we call the ARS, the kind of monitoring device that will track the movement of every canoe, on the water. So these are some of the things we're doing. So we have some NGOs here that are also making interventions at the EGA, the Environmental Justice Foundation. We also have CRS, Conservation International. They do some things here. So the Director General, will be in Maryland for 2 days. Have some engagement with the fishermen, the cooperatives, the local authorities. In Maryland, we are building a learning cluster where all the fishermen will learn. Like in Monroe, you have the parking station, right? The beginner parking station, the Riverside parking station. So all of the fishermen, they will not be learning behind the houses and more. So we are building one in Maryland. So that particular land that is being secured, we're going to do the final documentation to the local authority and make sure that we have that particular land available. And then in the next few months, the land sales construction will start. We have projects in Grand Crew as well. We'll be building another site there. We're here in Basso, in other places. So it's good. It's good. Honestly, it's good, and we appreciate it. The kind of support the media is giving us, in reaching our people. The Director General has, somebody who is very passionate about making the fishing, the fishery sector, to improve. She made several attempts in making sure that we have everything on course. Yeah. So hopefully the trip is for 9 days. Today is day 2. Hopefully we'll be in Monrovia before, or by the 9th or the 8th we'll be in Monrovia by the grace of God. I'm also having on board here the Director for Human Resources and Manpower Development, who is also the Chief of Office Staff in the Office of the Director General. Perhaps maybe you want to talk to me for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, Dennis, go ahead.
Yes, you talk about a system to monitor vessels or fishing boats and what have you. Do you have the system to do that?
Come in?
You mentioned about a system that will be installed to monitor, vessels or fishing boats. I'm asking whether you have the system. Do we have the system?
Oh, yes. I'll speak to you. We are working with partners in making sure that we have the monitoring device, procured and as soon as possible.
Meaning it has not been procured.
No, it hasn't been procured because I remember the last time the president visited Grand Bassa County, the fishermen asked him, to help them because people were dying, fishermen were dying at sea. And so one of the promises he made was to provide a life jacket. And beyond that, he decided to also provide them some devices that will help them to track them, on the Atlantic Ocean while they are on fishing expedition. But more packages, are there for the fishery sector for all fishermen across the country. and the father, the director general, will take will leave her comfort zone to come here. It tells that wonderful things are there for the fishermen. And the good news, I think you are aware that the World Bank just donated 5 pickups, so double cabin Toyota Land Cruiser pickups to the fishery authority. So we are using 4 of these vehicles in our convoy. And it's good. It's a wonderful experience. And some of those who have not had the time, even though they were with NAFA, they want to come home and they have not had the opportunity to come. I think this is an opportunity for them to see their own county for the first time or for the second time or whatsoever. So it's wonderful. We're having some independent media people on board who will tell the story from the Liberian perspective, from the way they see them. And then other, we have KMTV, we have a DTV, we also have linear, on the trip. So it's good.
So is this a justification of the gesture received, or how often do we hope to see these kind of engagements?
You mean from the World Bank?
Yes.
You are aware that the World Bank signed an agreement with the Liberian government, and they provided $40 million. $20 million is in grant. $40 million is in grant, and $20 million is in grant, and $20 million is in loan. So we pay. That means we pay $20 million. So it's part portion of that money that they used to buy. So that extra money that comes, apart from the $40 million that is used to do this, right? Yeah, so that's it.
So I'm asking whether the visit that you on, is it something that we will see often, or it's just a justification because you have received these fleets of vehicles?
Danny, this is a wonderful question. You will see this every time. Every time.
Okay.
Every time you see this.
All right, thank you, Chokan.
Thank you so much, Chokan.
I appreciate you, and thanks ever so much to you and FIDF for the wonderful job you're doing for the Liberian people. Thank you so much.
Okay, wish you all the best in the Southeast. Thank you so much. He's Chokan Freeman. He's from the Communications Department at the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, where Emma Glasgow is doing a pretty good job. And I've always said this, Denise, I have not met this woman personally, but I believe that the passion with which she does her job, if that can be spread out to every ministry and agency, I know there are various reasons others may give, but the fact that she takes her job the way she does, it proves that she's committed to what she's doing. So again, kudos to the NIFA folks there, and we wish them all the best in the southeastern part of Liberia. Dennis, strictly for our first discussion point this morning, the former vice president and Unity Party standard bearer, Joseph Boakai, has finally picked his running mate, and as was predicted, he picked Jeremiah Kun of Nimba County. There have been stiff criticisms. Of course, there will be. And others see this as a slap in the face of people who committed themselves to him during the process of all of the Rickman rules, whether from CPP, whether from the demise of Unity Party after the elections, and all of those other factors. People think that those who have been very close to him have been betrayed by the former vice president. First of all, let's look at it from that perspective. Then the next thing we'll look at the pros and cons of the ticket he's chosen.
Okay. Yeah. So Fidel, you know the issue with the former vice president selecting his running mate, and it's something that no matter the situation, there will always be people complaining about who he picked or what have you. So we follow the trend, and we know how the former vice president, was kind of, skeptical in coming up with his running mate. And when we listen to what he said in terms of who he actually needed as a running mate, he gave the person he needed in terms of being energetic, has integrity, has gone through the untold sufferings of this country, and can relate, to the day-to-day reality. And he sees Jeremiah Kun as that person that, can drive that aspiration that he's looking up for. And also he spoke about a young person. So The issue about the Yombli Kanga Lawrence and the Jeremiah Kun peak. So we trying to say, at times, though in Liberia, sometimes we say politics, there's no friend, there's no enemy, in politics, not Liberia, but we say politics, no friend, no enemy, and people align and disalign and all of realign and what have you, So with that, the Liberty Party has an issue. Yombli Kanga Lawrence shot herself in the leg. And with that, though she has been with Ambassador Boakai all along, like she said, in her readout, that yes, indeed, she has been there with the CPP in terms of the collaborating political parties, and with all of the split, she, still with she stood with the former vice president. And again, in what she wrote, she said it is the right, or it is there's a way I can put it, the duty or responsibility, if I get it right, of the person to select who they want to, be a running mate. So this is it. The former vice president have seen that this Liberty Party, we cannot go, with this side, because the Liberty Party has an issue with the Musa ability, and you have a fraction. No one wants to go to bed with a partner that every time when you go, you get someone, even in a relationship, you have a partner, and every time you have this lady coming to force with you, coming to disturb in your yard, you won't want to continue with that partner, you will say, I don't think I can continue. Let me try and keep my distance and go to another person. So it comes to play in this scenario. Yombli Kanga Lawrence has issue with a party. When they told them that, aligning or bringing Chairman Belete, Musa Belete along will cause problem, they saw nothing being wrong about that. At this point in time, the party is in crisis. The party continue to go to court in terms of defending legal issues as it relates to why they have this dispute, the internal wrangling within the party. We saw how the court process dragged when it came to the tempering of the CPP document. And Fidel, the issue of, court proceeding, legal proceeding, it takes a longer time. And I think on that, in that light, the former vice president thought it wise that if I select Yombli Kanga Lawrence, although she has been all along with me, she stood by me and she's still standing by me. If I select her, but what becomes of the legal proceeding? Meaning we will take all our time, our energy, in court, running here and there to ensure that we defend this lady. What we have time, while others are there, campaigning. And as we know now, the ruling establishment is one way or the other engaging. So with the temporary issue of the CPP document, with all of that, the United Party and other opposition party, that were together, found it difficult to continue to have their own engagements. So coming now with Yombli Kanga Lawrence, who still has an issue with our party, with Chairman Belete, who is resolved at ensuring that Yombli Kanga Lawrence, in terms of the law, follow the law, and the law is the law, remains the law. He will not sit back to see Yombli Kanga Lawrence be claiming chairmanship or political leadership of the Liberty Party, whereas he knows very well that there's a fraction. So I think for that reason, the former vice president thought it wise that why not pick Jeremiah Kun, from the NDR. And though we look at Jeremiah Kun as being from the NDR, a party that is funded by a former warlord or sanctioned or U.S. sanctioned Senator Prince Johnson, which of course, quote unquote, put a little bit of dark cloud, a little bit of problem on that peak. But also Jeremiah Kun over the time has also prepared himself politically in terms of when you listen to him from the humble beginning to where he is. He has prepared himself, and with that reason, he has served as representative for his district, and then going up to senator. So you can see that he has the constituent, and we know that Nima County is a vote-rich county that anyone who wants to align with, and especially when it comes to the Prince Johnson factor, because people think that Prince Johnson is believed to be the political godfather of Nima County. So whosoever align with Prince Johnson will have a good share of vote in the upcoming election or the impending elections. And we also know that Prince Johnson came fourth place in the 2017 election. So I think all of those sides were looked into in terms of ensuring that the former vice president have a running mate who is from the Nima County that everyone is claiming to have, or how do I call it?
They want to get a grip of.
Yeah, of Nima County. Yes. So I think that's my own.
Great. But Dennis, before I give my own analysis of this whole issue, there are people who've contended that Nyomli Kanga Lawrence could be picked who have been picked by the former vice president as an independent person. Void of saying she's the political leader of a Liberty Party as an individual.
So it comes to play as well. There was discussion about that, whether she could resign her position, and go as that, and there will be follower. With all that, there will still be confusion, because you will also have split. Others will start to complain, why has she resigned her post, to have the former vice president taking her as running mate, and others will have issue, with that. All lot of internal wrangling. You have just, I think, less than 7 months to elections. So to save yourself from all of those, complications and ring my role here, there, and explanation where you should be engaging, I think that's one of the reasons why, the former vice president thought it wise to engage Jeremiah Kun to having, and Jeremiah Kun, election also comes with spending, comes with a lot. And Jeremiah Kun, we know he worth a lot in terms of assets, and in terms of funding. So anyone will want to align politically, to have all of their things set.
Okay, good. I think again, looking at all of the different variables, the most likely pick, as we suggested or we predicted, was Jeremiah Kun. But there were lots of factors that were not apparently considered by the former vice president. As you mentioned, Jeremiah Kun is from Nimba County, a vote-rich county. In 2020, just 3 years ago, in the midterm elections, Jeremiah Kun clocked up to 36,000 votes through the support of the CDC. All right?
Yeah.
Then Prince Johnson was very cool with the CDC. 36,000 votes. The next person to Jeremiah Kun was Edith Gonglowe, who ran on the ticket of the CPP. She racked up over 32,000 votes. Now, comparatively, is more like 4,000 votes over what Edith Gonglowe got. Now, because Prince Johnson has given his support to the former vice president, in his mind and wisdom, the best person to have chosen was Jeremiah Kun. But here's the sticky issue. You mentioned the issue of his issue with the U.S. government, which is very critical. Now, the U.S. foreign policy, especially when it comes to third world countries like Liberia, especially when this issue of war crimes could come about. And clearly, one of the issues that the U.S. government has always had with this current administration was doing business with Prince Johnson. Yeah, doing business with Prince Johnson. So I think this pressure has been alleviated from the current administration. The pressure of dealing with someone who is a warlord, who was caught on camera killing a sitting president. I mean, that kind of of negativity has been erased from the current administration. Even though I still believe that the members of the current administration do not stand any moral grounds to criticize Prince Johnson going to the Unity Party. It is us who are the neutrals, who observe the activities of all of these political parties. We stand prepared to criticize the decision of the former vice president. And here is why. This man, Prince Johnson, whether you like it or not, Prince Johnson is the godfather of Nimba County. All right? Prince Johnson was the founder of MDR, the current party that Jeremiah Coon heads. All right? He's political leader of. Now, it means Jeremiah Coon's face on that ballot is more or like Prince Johnson's face on the ballot. Is that a representation? Is that all the former vice president could give us? They've spoken about integrity. They've spoken about their desire to establish a war and economic crimes code. How do you establish such an institute? Such a body when your main supporter, when the guy who is running alongside you is the face of the man who committed some of the heinous crimes in this country. Now, I know people will talk about the reconciliation thing, but people in Unity Party, they criticize the CDC government for doing business with Prince Johnson. In fact, they said the president was indulging Prince Johnson and the president wouldn't have established the War and Economic Crimes Code. So in my mind, having considered all of the criticisms they've made in the past, it was foolhardy for the former vice president to have chosen Jeremiah Coon. Now let's go to the political side of it in terms of number. If Jeremiah Coon won with over 36,000 votes with the support of CDC in 2020, and Edith Gonglowe won with 32,000 votes in terms of number, who will you have picked? I mean, considering the fact that Edith Gonglowe ran on the ticket of the CPP, she's the closest in terms of proximity, political proximity. She's the closest to former Vice President Joseph Boakai. If the argument is about number, why didn't you choose Edith Gonglowe? In fact, she was never even part of the options. But in my mind, considering that this former vice president is a man of integrity, is a man who stands for moral uprightness, Edith Gonglowe should have been a right pick. That did not happen. She was never even part of the conversation. He chose Jeremiah Coon. That is an upside situation on him, and he must be able to bear the repercussion. Now, there's an argument about Prince Johnson controlling Nimba County. Like I said, there's no doubt. But let's look at the political configuration. Edith Gonglowe got 32,000 votes. She was on one of the network of not supporting the former vice president. So it's 32,000 votes in the breeze. Jeremiah Coon was supported by the CDC, and he got 36,000 votes. CDC is no longer supporting him. MDR was supporting him when he got those 36,000 votes. So it means nothing will change from MDR. So he might likely come down from that 36,000 votes. What's his name? Tiaon Gonglo is contesting as president in Nimba County. He's a son of Nimba County, which means he did not contest in a 2020 election, right? The midterm election, which means he will be eating some of that votes that Edith got and some of the votes that Jeremiah Coon got. That's not it. Alexander Cummins has been working in Nimba County for a long while now. He will take some of those votes. The CDC of late has been doing some work in Nimba County. So I am saying this to mean the kind of expectation that Unity Party people have that Nimba County, will sweep the whole of Nimba County. Sometimes they make it look like the votes are just sitting in a box and just sealed up and sitting down there waiting for people. Even though the analysis may favor the MDR Jeremiah Coon in Nimba County, but the number of votes that are expected, right, will not be gotten by the Unity Party or the MDR. So I am saying you cool the expectations small. We understand Jeremiah Coon is a strong man in Nimba County. He has lots of businesses going on. His different connections. He has been there for a while. You can't stop that. But votes will be taken there by different political actors in that county. I just thought to point that out. Now the issue of Nyomli Kanga Lawrence. Dennis, like you said, Nyomli played herself to have accepted Musa Ability, who clearly has been condemned by different groupings regarding the issue of integrity, even though he was not found, culpable of those. But the fact that somebody accused Denise of this, that is an integrity issue. It means Denise has to clear her name. That has not been done yet. So that's an integrity. They elected him main chairman. Now they wanted to fight the man. The man took his ground. At this stage, Nyomli Kanga Lawrence has absolutely no control over the Liberty Party now. She's just hanging on a fragment of the Liberty Party, which is loyal to her. But holistically, Musa Ability has the Liberty Party. So again, the former vice president was right not to have picked her. Even though the question of loyalty comes in play, but look, politics, like they normally say, that number.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm still arguing, that if the vice president was, the former vice president were well-intentioned, Edith Gonglo would have been his choice.
So you talk about Edith Gonglo, right? And the issue about her. You stated right that she was supported by the CPP when she contested, right? That shows that the CPP had a stake in the number
that she had
acquired, right? So now it's the same CPP that is now taking Jeremiah Kun. And one thing we should realize that Jeremiah Kun has a district under his control. Edith Gonglo has never gotten that. Yes, that was just her first attempt, right? If I'm corrected.
No, she's contested before.
Yes, okay. So in terms of, she has never had a district, under her control, meaning a constituent that she depend on in Nima County, and Jeremiah Kun has that.
In 2020, Darius Delon did not have a district.
Darius,
Thomas Fowler did.
Darius Delon's situation is different.
Okay.
We saw how people voted for Darius Delon. Darius Delon did not come to, power in terms of because of his constituent or what he had. It was a situation win for Darius Delon.
Situation win.
Yes.
Popular mandate.
Yes, because why? It was a decision from the populace, from the Liberian people, to support Darius Delon against the government. So I see that as a protest vote.
Okay.
That took Darius Delon to the Senate. It is not about what he has. It is not about what he did. It is not about what went on, in terms of politically his own strength.
It's making...
There's nothing like that. It was something that Liberians felt that we needed to show or prove or point to this government that we are sending a signal that they need to, do this for us. This situation that we are going through, we are fed up with it, and we need solution. So by taking Darius Delon, that would send a signal to them. So Darius Delon aspect is not about him. It's about the Liberian people. And it is about the same Liberian people that will play, the factor will also play when it comes to all of what we are discussing now, and the issue about the running mate. And I don't know, but this time in point, we kind of make this running mate thing to be kind of big, because Liberia, we have a way, Liberians have a way of voting for people. As long they have you on mind and say this is the person, this is the person time. Yeah, anything you do or you say about that person, they will tell you,
they disregard it.
We don't care about that.
In 2017, the worst was said about the current president.
Of
but
course,
Liberians were faced
with that
on electing him.
Yes. So right now, the discussion now is about that the person they made a pick. So all will go with him. Let's forget that Nyomli Kanga Lawrence, whosoever,
they can reconcile.
Yeah, reconcile. It's about that now. So that shows how our voting population, the pattern of voting, how it is. And these are things that should be concerning politicians.
Okay, so in your mind, does Nyomli Kanga Lawrence have options available to her?
Yes, and that's another side of politics, and it shows that now the LP, the Liberty Party, has a chance in terms of if they want to unite. The United Party, if Yomli Kanga Lawrence feels disenchanted,
Liberty Party.
Oh, sorry, Liberty Party feels disenchanted and wanting to not go with the former vice president any longer and wanting to form a force, they can reunite, settle their differences, and we can see or play with ANC and the Liberty Party. That will also become a force in the impending elections.
So what if Nyomli went to Musa Belete, and Musa Belete in his high degree of political trickery decides to say, we don't want you again, as far as concerned, we spare you. What would that signal for the political life of Nyomli Kanga Lawrence?
That's
the way.
Yes.
She will be a pawn in this whole game.
Yes, and it means that, like I said the last time, it means that she has ruined the Liberty Party that was, that was built over the years by the late Councillor Bronsky. We saw how he struggled, how he, brought to prominence his party in terms of the numbers we saw during the 2017 election. How, he really stood for his party. And at this point in time, like I said the other day, if we were talking about an option, not the CDC, not the Unity Party, it would have been the Liberty Party. So it means if Musa Belete refused to unite with this Liberty Party, with Yomli Kanga Lawrence to form a force, it means that the side of Yomli Kanga Lawrence in terms of political quest to becoming president for this time, perhaps we will be talking about that, maybe to work again for 2029 or something like that, or perhaps maybe like the disco is ongoing now, or maybe she's serving as a pro tem or what have you. Perhaps that's the next option. But as it relates to that, we see the Liberty Party that being torn apart.
Okay, so the selection for Jeremiah Kuhn by the former vice president is been seen as a positive for Alexander Cummings. It still places him in this quote-unquote integrity bracket, and he can make amends with a lot of people in the same political cycle. Tiawon Gonglo, Clarence Manimba, and even the Yomli Kanga Lawrence. Has that given life to Alexander Cummings, do you think?
Some way or the other, we saw how Alexander Cummings, what he accumulated in the 2017 elections, coming, I think, 5th in terms of the election, that puts him at a better position, knowing that it was his first time
came late.
Yes, and all of that. But with all of the engagements and what have you, that's why a lot of people were opting for the supporters of the party, the Unity Party, and some opposition people were opting for him to have gone with, the former vice president to make a bigger side. But as it is now, he has done engagements, and he can align or, make a force with Tiawan Gonglo. Tiawan Gonglo would be a perfect match for them.
Tiawan Gonglo subordinate his presidential ambition.
With the issue of Clarence Moniba, that will be again like the 2017 for him, because Clarence, he's a young guy, he's good, and he has a great potential, but not for this elections. And I think Clarence himself knows that.
And he seems fixated on contesting a president to test his weight.
Yes, he will just test that to tell the people, I'm here.
I'm here.
We are the one now, 2029, we're going to take over, we'll be in a competitive race. But as it relates now, he doesn't have the force, for me, what I believe, in terms of the political landscape of Liberia. So having Tiawan Gonglo, who the name is a household name, Tiawan Gonglo, with Alexander Cummings, if they put their ego aside and wanting to, come together to form a force, that will also be a side as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good analysis, Dennis. We have a launch on somebody. They've just texted me that the analysis are on point, and we've got a launch on the person. Good one. But let's go to this Akara's great team, Dennis. Sometimes I don't want to talk about Akara's great sometimes, and because look, Dennis, I was a big fan. Growing up, sometimes we did not have the voice then. I mean, we were just starting up in this whole journalism thing, and Akaris Gray was the vocal person. He was Assistant Secretary General of the CDC. All right, that vocal, young, exuberant young man. Whenever he spoke, I mean, you saw the power and you saw the verve and tenacity in his voice. I mean, so it was just a normal thing for people to gravitate towards him, and he rose to the position of Secretary General. I mean, and people started seeing that Akaris Gray, I mean, this is the guy who was a representation of the young people. In fact, that was the major reason why he was elected in 2000, was it 17 or 2011. In 2011. All right, that's why he was elected in 2011. Now, Gray has changed dramatically, and sometimes I make it look like it sometimes appears like that devil, you know, people can say that the devil using you. The guy who was very, very critical of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's administration, the guy who was seen as a man who did not take bribe. I mean, the man was critical to the point where there were calls from all over that he needed to come, and you know, job opportunities were offered him, and he turned them down. Clearly, an individual like that will have people gravitating towards him. But little did we know that this Gray guy was just looking for a means to get into national leadership. The guy gets there, and he starts to do everything that is wrong with governance around the world. From using his office to swindle. I mean, you remember the issue with Kabina Janneh. Kabina Janneh may have his fundamental issue. But what happened at the end of the day? The ECOWAS Code demanded the government of Liberia to pay certain money to Kabina Janneh. They will not tell you they're paying that money, but the government is paying that money to Kabina Janneh. Why is it so? Because of the conduct of individuals like Akaris Gray. Because you are somehow close to the president, you are close to the government, and you wield a degree of support in the government, so you use that as a point of manipulation to make decisions that are not even in the interest of the country. Now, he has not done his worst. Copper Cry, who is the chairman of the MDR. I know we've been very critical of the Unity Party and its tender bearer. But Copper Cry, who is the chairman of the MDR, attends a program organized by the Unity Party, which, a program that's intended to give the standard bearer of the MDR a presidential slot, to go with our Unity Party. And you think the chairman of the party will not be there in the wisdom of Akaris Gray. So he went to social media that Cooper Cry is an enemy to the government, and Cooper Cry should resign because you cannot be in the government and at the same time working against the interests of the government. I know that is normal in politics, but here is the thing, Dennis. We are in an election year. If the president was appointing people on the basis of partisanship, trust me, a lot of people wouldn't have worked in this government. A lot of people. There are many, many people that are in this government that are not part of CDC or constituent parties in the CDC. And it's because the president has seen leadership not just as a partisan thing, even though there's a dominance of seditions in the government, but he has not seen that. Now this Akaris Gray wants to place a dent on the president by telling the Minister of Posts and Telecommunications to resign because you're working against the interests of the party. But the mayor was MDR chairman when you appointed him as Minister of Telecommunication, Cooper Cry. That now because you see a landing with Unity Party, you know why it will cost the president were he to do that? Has Akaris Gray used his number 3 or number 6 to think what it will cost the president if he were to make such a decision? But again, it goes to say, when you get one small degree and you want to add nothing else on it, and you just feel sharp more can ride you through. But the man has done everything but decimated his own character because of the kind of person he is. So you want Cooper Cry to resign, Dennis? You want him to resign too?
So the issue of Akaris Gray It shows the normal routine of Liberian politicians and politicians, how they conduct themselves. First of all, and when you talk about running to social media or running to conclusion or to the public to just make noise about issue, if you ask all of the successful politicians when it comes to politics, they don't make noise. They don't go around crying wolf. They don't go around explaining. They execute. They do or carry on their plan in the way that they can execute that without noise. That's what make a politician. So the issue about Akaras Gray, I listen to you and you talk about the issue of him when he was in opposition. He was so vocal and a lot of people gain admiration, and to that in terms of the way he was proceeding and being vocal on the then administration. It speaks to that whenever you see people coming up speaking out, it is because their side has not yet taken office or taken power. That's the day-to-day reality of Liberian politicians. They speak vocally because they are not at the receiving end. They are not the one in power, so they feel that what others are doing is out of control. Perhaps they are not benefiting. Perhaps so they use the Liberian people to think that they are advocating for them, and when they get to the realm of power, they tend to deviate from what they were speaking up for, and that's how Akaras Gray has carried himself over the time. Now they are in power. They are steering the affairs of the country. He tend not to be vocal any longer. He tend not to see the ills in society. All he see is being good in the country. Now you talk about Kupo Kra attending the naming ceremony or running mate. What I feel the picking of running mate ceremony. You speak about the government. Speak about government of inclusion. That alone defeat the government, pronouncement or government quest of government of inclusion. And mind you now, like you said, you will not always have yes sir in government.
Exactly.
There will always be opposing side. That's why we say government of inclusion. Except you want to say it is not government of inclusion, then you won't have people from the other side. But I don't care what you do, there will always be people who are from other parties that will work in government. That's why they have gone to school, they learn to ensure that we talk or to develop their country. So they have to work in government. So you cannot come up to say because the man supporting another party, so you should see him as being a part of the naming ceremony, which of course, like you said, he's part of the MDR, and it is his duty to be there. Now you are seeing that they are no longer in bed with you. They have gone to the other side. So you see that as a problem. It doesn't mean that everyone that's in government should go the ruling party's way. No, there will be people from the other side. So Akaras Gray just needed to be heard, as usual, and in terms of political sentiment and all of that. So that was wrong on his part to have, single out Kupo Kra because he attended the naming, the running mate stuff. All you need to have done, disregard that and carry on your duty to do what is best to do.
They got their internal the way to deal with internal issues.
To deal with that.
And I guess if he had done that in any of their chat rooms, people with wisdom would have told him that, hey, Gray, slow down.
Yeah.
What you're doing is nonsensical. You need to slow down. You know what you want. You know the kind of image you want to put out there for the president. That he's intolerant and he does not tolerate the opposing views of people who work in government. I mean, but again, you got to get here before you know all these things. Then
and also shows that you are showing to the public that yes, indeed, the issue about MDR going to the other side,
it hitting you.
Yeah, it's really pinning you. It has affected your entire ruling or in terms of gaining or re-election.
Let's go to the phone lines now, Dennis. 07777-105-100, 0555105-100. We've said enough. It is your time to say yours as well. Let's entertain your calls right now up to 9 o'clock. We take our break, come back, we take some more calls, and then we enter our other discussion points this morning, the issue of Samuel Tuer and the issue of the Hope for Women, which is very key to our discussions this morning. Good morning. Good morning, my brother.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Fidel. How are you?
We're
Please
good.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is Joseph Fremont. I joined you from Brovi this morning. You know, Fidel, you just said it right. Because if it was not panicking the CDC, our current rate we know number one, you were not going to ask Ubakura to resign. You were not going to be pushing that. Because you can tell the brother was for the MPR as the chairman when President Weah appointed him. He didn't know. President Weah know. He was the MPR chairman. When they appointed him, he worked for almost 5 to 6 years now because he was the first post telecommunication minister to attend to be corrected in this government. So, why you come out today, you say the brother must not go for a party program. He must not go for what? And you're not part of your CDC. Then you come here and say you put people, medicine them together to go to where to coerce him to fire this brother. I think Accra Square must be very mindful. The government not belongs to sedition. The government belongs to all Nigerians. He forget about Article 18 and quickly before I drop the land, we know the people that expose themselves. Everybody was saying that this thing about Liberia. It's not about who pick me, Joseph Brocker pick who. It's about Liberia. So the Liberian people you have been talking about from 2005 up to now, you put just saying things and you're not doing it.
Okay.
Why are you coming on with just in chat there? Meaning that you're only in the collaboration or supporting someone for what you people will get and they don't pick you that problem again.
Okay, we have to leave it at that. Let's take another person. The ambassador, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning.
How are you doing?
We okay.
Fidel, let me tell this. I think you put it right here. What is the number? We need number. You might ask when just said my brother got about 36,000 from Lima, and I didn't know where who had the 32,000. I want to tell them, and I didn't know where. I want the first association, and I didn't know where. We patrol in the region that we know. I'm not going to put a combination down there. But what I'm trying to say is that election there, my opinion is one good thing. Because the electoral process will mean normal. If you can get Lima, you get Lupa, if you can get small piece of Grand Bassa, or better, you can Maserado, then we can have to say, so that's just regarding issues of
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let's take another person. Morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Fidel.
Good morning, my brother.
Let me say good morning to Dennis.
Good morning.
My name is Alvin Daniel, and I call for the US draft.
Let's hear you.
Let me appreciate you people this morning for the talking point. Also, let me appreciate Almighty God for pumping breath into us. My brother, I don't know, as a while Nigerian people, we look at very serious people in this country. Somebody tell when America, I think when President Weah was 23 years old, somebody when America said President Weah is a labor running the corner, if I feel tested flowers. Look at the person you go ahead and pick them today as a running mate for the 4-year-old man, someone who has been 10 years. Are we serious in this country?
What?
We're looking at Liberia or looking at just one candidate popularity. Or we're looking at the future of Liberia.
What are you saying about his age? I didn't get that.
What?
You said what happened to his age?
The man, according to the former past president, when he went to America, he said President Weah was a labor. He found a tested flower. That's all the tested flower that running the country to have small children. Now you pick someone President Weah has put in 10 years. Are we looking at Liberia or we just looking at one candidate popularity? Let us think about
I don't think the vice president said that. The former vice president. I don't think he said that to President Weah. I think it was because of some situation. So that's not it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning.
How are you?
We're good.
Thank you very much. My brother, let me tell you something about this nation, yeah? We are now worshiping human beings. We're worshiping God. And this country will put it first. They country suffer too long. No, let me tell you, it's not about the long one we suffer so much. You know, the poster. We're discussing that, bro. Honorable Bwaka have say he was born at the best decision he ever taken in your life. Honorable Bwaka, human being now. He's an educated man. I'm a man. Businessman, man. Wow, what a problem that people get with him. No, we will vote Honorable Bwaka. Sell a crop for that long will come. The one that will come up. I feel like bro, I'm saying before. When they discuss it, I will discuss it bro. To take the code for them men. And I will tell you, like bro, if you're not open your eye, I will vote Honorable Bwaka. No, that's the best ticket. You have to go on now. What do you want to hear? Why here? Because we know that you're going to be on lost in this country.
Thank you.
Okay. Aiba, they may already make a point. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100. Call those numbers and have your say right here on the program this morning. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We're looking at the former Vice President's pick of Jeremiah Kuhn, the different permutations and different variables involved. And we're also looking at Representative Akaras Grades, a proposer of the MDR's chairman, Akopor Kra, resigning because he was at the Unity Party endorsement of the vice presidential candidate ceremony on Friday. We thought Akaras Grades' suggestion is unwise and is only intended for political appeasement. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Okay, you have to speak out a bit louder, sir.
Yeah, okay. I said Mr. Sia calling from Bowman.
Welcome to the program, sir.
Yeah, okay. You know, the ticket that Bwaka got, actually are looking at it to be very dangerous. You know, Bwaka will have how you call him, Big Johnson will have the edge for Jeremiah Kuhn.
When you say have the edge, what do you mean?
He will control Jeremiah Kuhn because he gave Jeremiah Kuhn to Bwaka. He's there. So it was not be Jeremiah Kuhn and Bwaka, it will be Big Johnson and Bwaka. Because Jeremiah Kuhn will know that he has a boss which is Big Johnson. You see, he always want to obey Big Johnson because Big Johnson is the one that makes him the voter. If they happen to win, he will take all instructions from Big Johnson. So definitely, we are now putting Jeremiah Kuhn so that Prince Johnson.
So that Prince Johnson face on the will be on the ballot then?
No, listen. When I say your very city office, you think if I recommend you to a higher area, when you see you will not pay here to me, you'll be very respect to me.
So you will pay here to Prince Johnson?
You see, so he will always want to go and get Prince Johnson advice for everything. Prince Johnson, what Prince Johnson will tell him that what he will do.
So by default, that Prince Johnson and Joseph Bwaka will be running the country?
That's right.
Okay.
You know, the whole thing now that Prince Johnson know that this man don't have a voter today. This is what he know.
Nobody can predict that.
There's no reliance to that.
Let's take another person and let people to talk that things. Morning.
Good morning to my sister.
Good morning,
David.
Yeah, on the issue of Honorable Gray, I think I don't expect Honorable Gray to go down round because Akopor Kra have an elaborate program at the Ministry of Complex inviting the Madians to vote for the Senate. Why did Honorable Gray not make comment on that? I think if you honor the law, every Liberian has the right to get equal opportunity and equal access to work in government. So Honorable Gray should forget about the issue of divided politics and focus on his district, the country at large.
Okay.
On the issue of our former vice president, I don't know which of the asked him to be used to a rap and they're running me. But because they got people that really suffer with the Unity Party, when it comes on the issue of Yomi Konga Lawrence, Costa and the legs of others, they suffer. I think Yomi Konga Lawrence will push out of the Liberty Party because of the same Unity Party alignment. And lastly, will the Unity Party muster the courage to still call for the war and economic crime code alliance? Will they consistently call for the war and economic crime code? Thank you, big brother.
Thank you so much, David. Let's take another person. The calls are jamming. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Josiah Smoke from around the Oro Belt. All right, thank you for the show. Let me just say this. We're hearing people saying Jeremiah Kuhn, Prince Johnson will be friends like Jeremiah Kuhn and Prince Johnson. Now, let me say this. Jeremiah Kuhn is an independent singer by himself. He from the time it came forth up to present. Right? Jeremiah couldn't go to NDR. NDR is an institution, it's not productive property. They went to a convention when Honorable Jeremiah Martin was elected overwhelmingly in the meeting.
Through the support of Prince Johnson.
Right?
Through the support of Prince Johnson.
It could be anybody.
Right? So I agree with that part.
Hello, he was elected by conventions. Whether he was a different Prince Johnson or not, if the other that were there knew that he was not competent, we were voted against him. So that's not the issue. He was elected by the convention, and the party elected him as our political leader. We can send that to where he is today. Right? Coming to the General Party, let me say thank you to JMP, my political leader, that make the decisions. And two senate gave to him under the Constitution, Article 51, that gave him the right.
I mean, no time about that now you own.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, the man will say because I don't want to hear in our calling. But you get 1 minute to talk, then you talking about plenty of things. Morning.
Yeah, morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Walbert Delay. I call from Orange Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to speak on the Ascagwe issue. Yeah, as you were saying, my brother, Ascagwe, we hold Ascagwe here, we get him door to door to elect him at the time because we were getting confident, trusting that he would deliver the young people on a serious note. My brother, alive, that what can happen. Yeah, when you see power now, everything changed. To even show his face to where he was, he was popular in elected, he get kind of around there to talk to the people. To even put himself with the people who get him.
Let's go to the thing the man say. That one part I teach people with this. Yeah,
that one is true. Yeah, so that's my opinion there, yeah.
Okay.
So, I would decide this kind of time around because we don't want to sit back and do things again that will affect us.
All right, my brother.
It will not happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. 0777-105-100. Oh, then it's a one of the
we already crossed it.
Yeah. Let's run for our break quickly. It's a commitment we have to do. When we come back, we take more of your calls on the program this morning. The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel Sadie, and then this Nipsey. This somewhat tware issue, we'll talk about it at least 15 minutes past the hour. Yeah. Let's go back and take our break and be right back on the program. Bokonjida Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjida Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, National Intelligence Unit, and General Quality Commission, doctor, Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include
God don't give up on me. 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 Don't give up on me. You told me not to worry. We should give you thanks and praise. Akapele kuwa speo. Me I understand the trail. Me I give it all to you. Give it all to you. And I got friend to say. Glipper you lead the way. You told me call on you. Call on you. Call on you. I just need to kneel and pray. Like you get it find no say. God don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. God don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. God don't give up on me. give up on me. God, don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. See, God, don't give up on me. I beg you, don't give up on me. Please don't give up on me. Don't give up on me. For the many, many blessings you bless me, I cannot tell it all. I thank you, you love me best.
Oh, na na, yeah, yeah. Oh, na na, yeah, yeah. Oh, na na, yeah, yeah. Oh, na na, Jehovah Obadu, Papa, you too good, Jehovah, you too good, Papa, you too kind, miracle working God, give me all the praise, give me all the glory, you alone deserve it. You put my enemies under my feet, because I have you, I face no defeat. Higher and higher, I give you the praise and I give you the honor, because you're the king. You love me personally, see the testimony, you get the glory, you get the honor and everything, yeah. You love me personally, see the testimony, you get the glory, you get the honor and everything. Papa, you too good, Jehovah, you too kind, see the things that you done for me. Papa, you too kind,
The good things that you they do, you just scatter my hand, Baba me, for the many, many blessings you bless me, I cannot tell it all. I thank you, you love me personally, see the testimony, you get the glory, Lord, you know, you love me personal, testimony, you get the glory, Lord, yeah, Mama, you too great now, what an enemy you are, Mama, you too good,
Noted for reckless comments, and he is noted for unwarranted dispositions on issues that do not even resemble him as a national leader. And so this is because of the confidence I have lost in this man. That's why I criticize him the way I do. And he has not given me any reason to even, to mince my words, or to say, let me just sorry for him. Every day he will say something that will make you there, and that's him. But again, that's the kind of people like bro, like the people like Carlos Green, who can just sit down one day and just talk about that and say, hey the general, the same way our man, how they call him, say Jackie can do. And by the way, today they say Jackie birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Happy birthday to him.
Somebody who will look at the president and call the president. I can call him general too. Then we can call the man general. The same will agree. Who can lose? Talk loosely, then we look at him and call him general. The real people who are supposed to call general, we can call it general. I know. Yeah, that's it. That's Liberia. That's our culture. Let's go back to the phone line 0777 105 100. 0555 105 100 0777 105 100. The former vice president's pick of running mate is what we're looking at this morning, as well as Representative Gray's reckless recommendation that's only intended to make the president ugly. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
How are you?
We're good.
This is Mohammed Kishawa, one of the people defenders are conducting this for the executive. How are you?
I'm doing good. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much.
And I hope the executive connecting with you too.
Yeah. This is our government.
my brother.
Okay, this is our government. Other people building houses, be doing this is our government. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much for the statement. For me, Chris' statement is very wrong, although it is not representing for our government, but their statement, Article 18 of the Gabon Constitution, they give us a business opportunity as well you qualify to be elected. Background where you fall, your religious background for everything, you have right to be appointed by the president. And when the president appoints you, you have to do the welfare of the president. And the President George Manuel Weah was a word that he was a chairman for political parties. He was appointed. So, because he made a political party program like this is a cause of agree with call for the man and dismissal. It's unfortunate. I'm agreement we are expecting them to empower all the other people in the party to be able to help President George Manuel Weah, for a agenda to be, carry our community. But they're not doing so. They just making comments that will impact the government. You see? So if you dismiss that man from
Okay.
government, it will add energy to the program agenda. Lastly, but the people about Jeremiah Koo, and the opposition community believe my brother God.
What do you got to do with the People Party?
I got something to discuss. They don't want to become president. I mean, and the people party want to become president for Nigeria, and we are sitting here, we have to discuss it.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm a citizen, but it's a wrong thing about it. And he will see the consequences. The same way 2017, he was acted by the people of the country. He will be from the thank you very much.
Okay, all right, Mohammed, yeah. The man propose, but the propose is not propoing, yeah, in the man area. But let's continue with the conversation this morning. Dennis, I think we should transition a bit.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh man, let's transition a bit. I mean, so on over the weekend, there was this news about the resignation of Finance Minister Samuel Tueh, and social media went abuzz with information that Samuel Tueh had tendered in his resignation because of this and that. Now, I did a post in relation to that, whether it was emotional blackmail or it was a way of quietly leaving the scene. I mean, with all of the news we're receiving regarding the resignation of Samuel Tueh. Now, the fact that some of us sit in a position where we can have access to information, real-time information. And so we did our investigation. First of all, it is true. Samuel Tueh was not part of the retreat, the meeting in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. Samuel Tueh was not part. And the essence of that meeting needed to have had Samuel Tueh, because of the kind of importance attached to that meeting. Samuel Tueh needed to have been there. He was not there. Where was he? He was in the Ivory Coast. You remember Samuel Tueh used to work with the African Development Bank, and he was stationed in Ivory Coast, and so he has got some home there. Yeah. So let's be frank now, Dennis. With all of the hustles and buzzles in this Liberia, sometimes when you notice the pressure is on you, you have to get away. Yeah. I mean, sometimes the time will be inconveniencing for you to get away, but you have to get away. And apparently, his getting away coincided with this meeting that was being held in Grand Bassa County. And so the president demanded that he came to Monrovia in order to be a part of the ongoing retreat. But again, when you beat up, you beat up. So Tueh could not come in time as anticipated or requested by the president. And so he stayed a day or two, there. So our information, our source, which is very authoritative, indicated to us that the president was not happy. All right. And leaders like us who are very fixed on what we want to achieve, at the end of the day, the president was angry. And so we are told from this authoritative source that there was a back and forth with the president, all right, regarding, I mean, the long stay of the former finance minister in Cote d'Ivoire, at the annoyance of the president. So, in that conversation, we are told that Samuel Toure threatened to resign, and that was based on what we've been told from our source. Now, that did not go well with the president. Oh, I tell you, say you can. We having retreat in Bikana. You're supposed to be there. Then you say you will resign. Now, that in my mind is emotional blackmail. I know Denise Lemmy. Of course, everyone knows that the president loves Samuel Toure so much. And in fact, Samuel Toure is being considered by the president as the most educated man in this government.
Yeah.
They make him say, in fact, that when the president can call the man Baku, you understand? That is the kind of love President Weah has for Samuel Toure. And that is the relationship that the both of them share. Now, if I love Denise to this point, that I can publicly, as a boss, say to Denise, oh, I like this thing about you, I like this thing about you. And Denise takes advantage of that because she knows that I admire her, and she decides to threaten me with resignation because I will not accept your resignation. That's emotional blackmail. Say, I will not agree for you to resign, but you're telling me, say, you will resign. That's emotional blackmail because I will not do it, but you're giving me the impression that you will do it when you yourself, you will not do it. That's emotional blackmail. Now, why is this happening? Why do we say Samuel Toure cannot resign? There are several reasons. Samuel Toure, like I said, is been seen about the president as the man who know all the things that I got to do with booking a war. Samuel Toure know it. That is the confidence the president has in him. But there are several reasons why he will not resign. And anybody who tells you say Samuel Toure will resign, tell them say that lie. We are still, you remember the 25 million mop-up exercise report?
Yeah.
That report is very damaging of Samuel Toure because he was the head of the economic management team. And we read the report there the last time. It is in that report, it is indicated that there are several persons who were indicated as receiving money from the team. Either those businesses were not existent, they were not registered, or the people that they call, who telephone number, the place that they say, we don't know what you're talking about. 17 million United States dollars was spent in the mop-up exercise. And there are lots of questions that came about regarding that particular report. Even though Samuel Toure said, oh, I was not that the Central Bank of Liberia dealt with it. But when it comes to issue of oversight and ensuring that agencies that you somehow have control over do not do their jobs, it means you are responsible. So the TEMT, which Samuel Toure chairs, was the TMT that did the mop-up exercise.
Sure. So
Samuel Toure will never resign. The borrowing initiative. You remember that borrowing initiative? I said the president told the man to say the man smart for nothing. He started taking money from our international partners, getting money from accounts of our international partners. They wrote him a long letter, and in that letter they indicated to him, Mr. Toure, you got to stop doing this. And when they were questioned, he said that was borrowing initiative. Samuel Toure will never resign because of some of those things. Another reason Samuel Toure will not resign. You remember the road fund, where he went to the legislature and told the legislature we were in crisis, during the coronavirus time, and the government was challenged, and we could not, get money, so we decided to take the money. But it is legislated. The budget is there. That this road fund money, the essence of establishing the road fund was to ensure that a percentage of gasoline and fuel that we buy, a percentage of that money is placed into an account called the National Road Fund, where we take to recondition roads and to build other roads. You went and take money from there. When they ask him again, he say because we're in crisis. Now, these are clear violations, but because we live in an indulgent society, we kind of overlook these things. So there are several reasons why when somebody tells you Samuel Toure will resign, say that lie from the belly of the devil. Tuel will never resign. Tuel will stay on till the president 10 years expires. And if he's re-elected in 2023 October, Tuel will still stay on because he is a loved child of the president. In the words of the president, he is the most educated man in this government. So forget about Tuel. Any news you hear about Tuel resigning, that lie. When he present letter and tell the president say I want to resign, that emotional blackmail. So it was an emotional blackmail, and it was never that Tuel was leaving and resigning. We just thought to say that. Dennis.
Yes, and you said that he would never resign. And the issue here now, Tuel should be telling us, Minister Samuel Tuel should be telling us why is it he wants to run away. You know, after all this years, all the baba thing he has done, like we continue to say, the mop-up exercise, harmonization, noise here and there, at this dying meaning, Samuel Tuel wants to run away. You cannot run away. He went to the spring meeting in Washington. He attended the meeting. Long ago, the meeting ended. The man say, Auntie, I'm coming to Liberia. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit down, leaving the work behind.
Yeah.
Leaving all of the dig hole and cover hole. Leaving the issue with the latest census.
Yeah.
The census confusion. The hullaballoos that were in the whole census issue. You know, you want to leave that and say, I will leave Liberia. And I will leave the government in the hole. You cannot leave a government in the hole of thing that you have been part of. What is it that Samuel Tuel has visited? He has, he went to the US for this spring meeting and he held several meetings. And now he's, receiving some signal based on those things that he was doing over the time. He felt that no one, was going to look at him or was going to pinpoint those things to say, yes, you are proceeding wrongly. And he knows very well that perhaps sometimes people can say the days are becoming
numbered.
Yeah, numbered. So he's sensing something. He wants to run away. You cannot run away. You have to face this. And it's serious. And it is something that he needs to come back and he needs to be in Liberia. You cannot say you want to resign. They have cabinet meeting going on. You said in Ivory Coast, you don't want to come, and you are a key factor, you are a key minister, that when it comes to the running of the affairs of the country, you play a very, very major role. A vital role at that. So you said and say, oh, I will leave in Ivory Coast, and I will sit down, I will lay back, I will not come, I will resign. Resign where? You are going to stay up to this thing and you're going to tell us why you want to resign, why you want to run away now. You are seeing that perhaps, all of these and Langley issue, the people went to Langley, they came back and say, oh, the CIA or whosoever has questioned the government, has done this, has done that, and all of that, all of the silence all along the way, and now you are coming, you say you want to run away. Samuel Tuel, we can say you cannot run away.
You will not.
You will not run away. You will stay into this whole, the whole issue. And you're going to tell us what is it that, you are trying to say.
So that's the point. Tuel cannot run away. You will not run away.
You can run away. All of the things you put, you are the finance minister. The finance minister, the man who controls the budget, the man who controls the day-to-day of the country, the running, it's the finance minister. Fidel, if I'm here, you come to me as the finance minister. You say Dennis, or you call Doris, the finance officer or ABC. You say Doris, I hear that you got money here, bring the money, let me do this, or we need to put this money. Doris will tell you, Fidel, no. This is what we need to do at this time. This is what we need to do. But you can't, Doris will not come and mislead you. And say, let's do this, let's do that, let's put this, so let's do this one, and everything. And at the end of the day, when it's time for you to defend it, you cannot see Doris around to defend it. Then Dennis, you center around, Fidel, this thing. So the issue, you're coming. The issue of Samuel Tuel wanting to, escape this whole thing. Samuel Tuel needs to be here. He needs to tell every step along the way. He has told over time that the economy is performing well. The economy is at this point. Even Ambassador McCarthy said that if the government continue to say that this economy is performing, it at this point, why is it now people will be saying that the country, we are suffering, we don't have money? So Samuel Tuel needs to tell, you don't need to go because we need him in the second term election. Yeah, the second term bid of the president. He needs to defend all of those financial issues For 6 years, the president did not change him.
Mm-hmm.
He left with Samuel Tour. He stayed with Samuel Tour. Said I'm a final minister here. So he has all of the things here. Don't leave the man now. They make him call you paku. You know all of the economic situation that you want to run away. No escape route. Yeah, no escape route, Fidel.
So
that's it.
So here is the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the ambassador indicated, even though like we said here the last time, there were some points that we needed to have highlighted in the ambassador's statement, but there's key point that he made, and we've been talking about that regarding the performance of different ministries and agencies. Dennis, I tell you for free, when people go to offices in this country, public offices, they sit down and do nothing. It's not that they don't want to work. It's because there are not enough logistics to work with. All right? Because the concentration of the government has been focused on more or like paying salaries. And that's one of the reasons I must give it to this government, that salaries have been very constant. All right. But when you look at the different workings and operations of government, they've been lacking, and it's because if the Liberia Revenue Authority, which has boasted about an increasement in the revenue generated over the time, in fact, they said we've done revenue generation, which means they are doing a very great job, fantastic job. It means we are getting money. Even though support from our international partners are not forthcoming, it should. It's one of the things, again, we must give to this government. They've been able to mobilize domestic revenue at an aggressive level, which is one of the reasons why we are running the way we are.
Sure.
So if we are getting this money, why are hospitals, why are different health facilities, so to speak, across the country are crying for lack of drugs, or lack of this, lack of that? Why are public schools still crying because they do not have maybe chalk bowls or cheese and these things? It's very important. So it means there are off budget spending that have been done, which means that Minister Tue has to explain to us when these things are not spoken about, and it appears like I always like to use this word, indulgent. I use it in different forms. Indulgence, indulgent, indulging. It means you are encouraging and flowing with the tide. That's how it looks like. So there are plenty of questions the final minister need to answer.
He needs to answer.
So like I said, he not resigning. Nobody money. He will not resign. He not get no plan to resign. He will stay on.
He won't run away.
He has to make sure that he stays on. All right, so that he's able to defend the action of government as we go through these elections. But again, he has an uphill task as Liberians go to the poll. The president of Liberia is going for re-election. It means a lot. Every action that he takes right now will have repercussion on the entire government. And I am very sure Samuel Tua, doesn't want to relinquish his position when the government is re-elected. I'm told he's the king of usurpation. The B-word. I mean, Dennis get her work to do.
I ain't doing it for.
But I won't do Dennis part of work. The minister of labor get his part of work to do. But a minister of finance is supposed to do it. That the same reason why they all censor. Let me tell you, let's leave it at that. Let's go to the whole for women thing.
Yeah, so like you said, the issue about Samuel Tua, it speaks to the fact where the president, needs to be aware. When we say government is not about friendship, it's not about who you know. When the person is not performing or they are doing something wrong, make sure you deal with them so that they can be called to order. And it shows exactly what Tua and mastermind to have done. Wanting to escape, wanting to run away, and at the end of the day, what he will start to say, oh, I'm not the one responsible for these things that are happening. I was pressed, I was pushed, to go about doing these things. It is not my doing. It's because I was pressured by the president, and he demanded this, he demanded that, and last no time because he wants to clear his side. And that's why we say when all of these things happen, sometimes when we say the president needs to take action, it is not because we are against the president. It's because at the end of the day, what would they say? They will say during President Weah, it was President Weah who led this. They will not talk about the officials who are blundering, who are doing the worst. They are going to talk about you. So Samuel Tua, you can't run away. You will be in this thing here. we will end it. No escape route for you. No, not running away for him.
Let's run strictly to this Hope for Women thing, Dennis. You are a woman. I mean, and I know how it is that you go to a health facility, and that health facility that you serve as a medium of reviving you is seen as an entity that more or less contributes to your demise. And there are tons and tons of testimonies from this hope, for women. Now, sometimes I like to be very careful how I discuss these things. But again, you cannot shy away. The loss of a life is more important than keeping the integrity of a health facility intact. No, the life of an individual far surpasses keeping the integrity of an institution intact. When in fact, that institution is seen as being liable for the death of that person. That is what Hope for Women. I gave you some testimonies, Smith. Just cue them for me. I mean, that is the way the Hope for Women, the hospital belonging to the health minister. Just the day before yesterday, someone else lost their lives. Think about the countless number of people that are losing their lives as a result of that. There was a documentary done in 2018 regarding this health facility where one Reverend Famule passed issue off.
About Reverend Famule.
Dennis, you have an in-depth knowledge about this health facility. I'll give you the chance. Talk to our people, Dennis. I mean, that a health facility, let me just put it in common. The place where when you're sick, you're supposed to go there to get treatment. I thought because the facility, even though the private hospital, but it belonged to the health minister, I thought some kind of sympathy is supposed to be there, even for the amount of money that you pay. But you go to the facility, the money said they charge you. First thing, you got to pay for consultation. That's the first thing. And you hear the money for consultation, yourself you reject. How would the poor person are going to that health facility that belong to the Minister of Health, where I think say are supposed to get clean health, and they deal with me and I come back there free for the delivery. Then at the play I go air because of carelessness, then somebody die from me. Dennis.
The hospital itself has defeated the essence, the name. Hope for women. Hope for women. Women are seeking hope when they are not well, and especially nowadays we always talk about the issue about the health sector, where people go to hospital, they go to health center, they cannot get the care they need, and it is so sad for our country. People run from JFK and what have you because they say there's no proper treatment there, the care and all of that. So they want to go to the private owned institutions. And the Hope for Women is one of those that people will always see as being, a place that they can go because of the structure and perhaps the care. And when people see in Liberia, when something is being, it's expensive, they feel that yes, this place is good, I can go there. But it is not because one person has died. That's why we are talking about it. But this is something that continues to happen at that Hope for Women, and it's a facility that is owned by the health minister. We saw during her confirmation there were agitation by people. There were people who spoke highly about that she needed not to have been confirmed because she had an outstanding issue that needed to have been resolved from the way they handle Reverend or Pastor Famule issue. Pastor Famule, we knew at that time it was someone who got pregnant and she had issues, right? That's why she sought care there at the Hope for Women. And they knew her record of everything, how she was going to deliver, how it was going to be. But in that time for the lady to have given birth, we learned that even Dr. Jala was not even around, who was all the time taking care of the lady, taking care of the that was seeing the woman as her patient, and another person went to perform the care in which there was loss of life. And it's not only with family, with the late Pastor Famule. Other women went to that place, and today they are no more. What is happening at the Hope for Women? It is bad that our health minister will be running a facility that people will be just to give birth.
Bravo.
To give birth. just to give birth, they will mess with the lives of people, family, people, women, people, children, their daughters go to deliver at that Hope for Women, and it becomes like that. Nowadays in Liberia, when someone is pregnant, now you are so afraid because there is no good care. They go to hospital, the people there, every little thing is C-section. Every little thing they want to carry on C-section on you. They don't exercise patience. They those who are in charge, some of them, they don't care how they handle patients at the hospital. And the Hope for Women is no exception to that. We continue to hear issue about complications resulting to the lives, claiming the lives of Liberians. And the latest was that promising woman who we saw just to go give birth. Out of a little complication, she lost her life in that process. It is sad. The person who is heading up that health center happens to be Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala. This cannot happen. It is because in our country, Liberia, when people mess with people's lives at hospital, no one take exception to that. They don't carry them to court. So on a daily basis, we continue to see that people's lives continue to be destroyed when they go to hospital to seek treatment, where they should come up being good because they went to sell it themselves. They will remain in that process and just die. This is saddening. This is something that should claim the attention of everyone. Our health centers need to take key note of how they cater to patients, how they deal with pregnant women, and the issue of the Hope of Women. It is bad. It is glaring. It is something that people should talk about, and that Wilhelmina Jala should be held responsible for reckless handling of patients at her health center, which is very, very wrong of Fidel.
Very wrong. So you cannot be the health minister of our country and you have a health facility, and very expensive indeed. People go there because we see it, like Dennis said, we see it as a safe haven. People go there to seek medical treatment, and just for things like delivery. Look, we are aware that the delivery process, there will sometimes be complications, but the action of those health workers to deal with those complications is what make you an even better health facility than other health facilities across the country. Say maybe public health facilities, as it is seen in Liberia. Even though I believe that public health facilities should be the most equipped, should be the facilities that people can easily go to, and all kinds of health complications can be dealt with. But you have the Hope for Women, which is supposed to be hope for women, but in this case, it's like a hopelessness for women. All right, you go there, and then somebody, look, as a health worker or a healthcare worker, when there are situations, something that delivery, it's not possible that out of the deliveries you do will be void of complications, and so that's why you are trained to deal with these complications. So don't tell me, oh, the woman will deliver and because of complications she died. Complication is part of the delivery process.
Exactly.
So you should expect that. But if you sit there and allow somebody to die because you said there were complications, you should be able to handle complications. So again, I hate to speak badly of health facilities, but look, you cannot operate a health facility as the minister of health. And people are dying carelessly as a result of that. Smith, just play that clip for us. I mean, from this 2018 documentary done by a friend and brother, Joseph Doe, when this Reverend died at that particular health facility. I mean, it's so sad. Very, very sad. I don't know whether we'll get it on the radio as well. Okay, let's get it. Smith, I'm not getting it. Alright, but it's actually a video.
Concerned citizens gathered in front of the Capitol building.
Play it via audio, and let's get it from the audio side. But it's very sad. We can't allow our country, I mean, to be like that, man, where government fighting hard to improve health facilities and people who are operating expensive public health facilities are not able to do what's right. Now, just listen to this clip. I mean, they actually did a protest against Wilhelmina Jala as health minister.
Yeah. Of Dr. Wilhelmina Jala as health minister.
Like Danny said, before her appointment, when the president nominated her, the people were against her confirmation by the by the legislature.
Is the confirmation of Dr. Wilhelmina Jala as health minister and asks the House of Senate to deny her.
My name is Mistress Dorothy Dwosakwe. I'm a concerned citizen, and I have come today to make my statement that Dr. Wilhelmina Jala should not be confirmed as health minister. You can recall a year ago a death of a very family at her facility, and the preliminary investigation was held, and she was held liable for wrongful death, and presently Dr. Wilhelmina Jala is in court. So we are saying to the Senate that they should not confirm her until she goes to court, and when she is clear, she can come back and be confirmed.
So you see, I mean, Dennis, somebody man died because Wilhelmina Jala, by that time she was not health minister, she was there. Or Abba was there, Kulu. She was not health minister. Now she's health minister now. It even get worse. Worse. So, I mean, sometimes when we say these things, it appears like we hate these people. But when one life is lost, a lot is lost. A lot. There are families who depend on that person. In fact, the person's personal survivor is key. The person's right to life before the people who depending on that person. I mean, all of those things because somebody did not do what's right. It is her responsibility to hire, even if she is the owner of the facility. So nobody must give me excuses. She the minister of health. She not heading the facility. She the one get the facility. Anything that happened there, she the one will be held liable. If anything happens at ABC Radio, we will be held liable for what happened. So I mean, for you to say, I mean, it's just crazy, Dennis. But we have to go. We have to.
Yes, we have to go to the phone lines to get our callers and to tell them that Samuel won't run away. The man won't escape. We tell him he shouldn't escape.
What you try to say?
The man didn't make presentation and they just in there, cabinet retreat in Bassa because he was not there. So he shouldn't run away. He shouldn't run away. He should be here. While he put the government in, he should handle it. Let's take our calls now.
Yes. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. The numbers to call this morning. Let's hear you on the program, The Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. As always, we talk it here undiluted. Our intention is to ensure that Liberia becomes a better country by the day. We have a responsibility to the state, and that responsibility we will uphold to the highest degree. We are not willing to substitute that responsibility with anything. And that's why we remain vocal as we are. We do not do this with a personal vendetta. We do it because of country. And we hope that those who are in the corridors of power, who understand what representation is, what appointing the president to appoint you and say serve in a position, that is a big deal. The president low among 5 million people, over 5 million people, and say that you are taken to be the person. That should be an honor. And people should be able to accept that honor with the highest degree of gratitude. And the way to show gratitude is by doing what's right. And like we said, we not know that person that woman that to not fight. We not know her from anywhere. And I'm sure Dennis and Mido. I have not met her before. I have not interacted with her. But that's some of those things. The last time we were here criticizing the Ministry of Public Works, and they started reconditioning the road, even though it's not as perfect as we wanted. But those potholes have been removed. We tell them thank you for doing that. So that is our job here. All right. 077-105-100, 055-105-100, 077-105-100 are the numbers to call this morning. And let's hear you on the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. We are saying Samuel Tuer must stay on. Samuel Tuer is not going anywhere. Samuel Tuer was just engaged into emotional blackmail of the president, which we know that the president loves him. The president loves him like that, and he's seen as the most educated man. In that one I can guess, but the president is the man as the most educated man. But he's smart. Everybody knows that. Tuer is smart. Yeah, but so now he can overdo his smartness. That's why can make people veil with him. I mean, okay, so the phone lines are open. Then is why we're still awaiting our calls. We still got to. Maybe we should listen to more of these testimonies as the call come in, because look. Anything that bothers on the health of a people, they're not anything to take for a joke. The reason why we can criticize the government with the issue of JFK, with the issue of other public health facilities across the country, is because health is wealth. If a person is alive, they can make plenty things. If a person is well, that person can make plenty things that happen. And every individual, one way or the other, is contributing to the country. And the loss of a life is subtraction from the contribution your citizens should make to the development of your country. And because that is not so that's why you see, anytime you see somebody die, for some reason, I think Liberians are timid, Dennis. Our timidity level is so high. In other countries, when a health facility is responsible for the death of an individual and it is established that health facility is sued, they can take the health facility to court. But for some reason, maybe because our focus is more like on our bread and butter issue, so we don't see it as these health facilities having the responsibility to ensure lives and properties are protected. So that's why you see some of these things can happen the way they happen. Because when in some countries, the thing that people can do, they will not do it. But because there is not a precedent where an individual took a health facility to court, so even when a nurse, haven't we heard untold stories of nurses being on their phone on Facebook when you have an emergency situation? We've heard those cases. Haven't we heard about people abandoning their duties because maybe they didn't pay them or something?
Yeah.
But I hope for money, they pay plenty of money. People that are working there, they paying them plenty.
Yeah.
So anything that's happening there is because of outright recklessness.
Yes.
And unprofessionalism. It's not because that those people are not being paid. These people, people who go there, they pay chunks of money. In fact, for you to see the doctor, you have to pay a consultation fee. You have to pay a consultation fee. Then before you see the doctor, before they tell you what thing you're supposed to do when they finish checking you and know what your problem is, how much you're supposed to pay. You can't be paying over the odds for health care, and you are not giving the value of the money that you pay for those services. That's preposterous. And that is why we are calling the health minister to book now. That look, you cannot be the health minister of our country. You can't be the health minister of a country. Then you have your health facility, which is privately owned, even though people have a lot of problem with it. That look, when a woman a health minister and she get the almost same thing with the Ansu Soni thing. Ansu Soni the minister of education. Ansu Soni get school, but guess what? The school paying plenty of money, but yet you want people who own private school to reduce the school fees.
Yeah.
How does that work? So that is the malady that our country is confronted with.
Yeah.
And it takes the courage of people who are willing to speak truth to power to have these people taking corrective measures on their actions. Other than that, we will continue to go in a revolving cycle. Even though we know sometimes what we say here, it does not in any way have any effect on it because we got so for cow in government. No man are causing us. The president will not do anything. They will just cause us and shut up. But at least let us be on record say the Baba thing that was happening, we talk about it. And there are records to show that certain individuals who were doing the Baba thing were able to point them out with no fear because we want this country to look better. And one of the things they've forgotten is that the action of every individual government official weighs in on the re-election of the president. Oh, you think the president want re-election? He want re-election.
Of course.
And you serve in your capacity as minister, as deputy minister, as assistant minister, as director. If people around you do not feel comfortable with you, those people will definitely not give their votes to the president. So the easier way, and people know the easier way to campaign is before election. And we not say the thing here again, Dennis, that if you public official, if you lay in your community, for example, let Wilhelmina Jala that she get health facility. To you now, the people who carry their people there, and God forbid
something happened to them.
Some people then something not happened to them. Someone then not die. You think those people then will feel because her action is weighing in on the decision of those people.
Yeah.
So you think now they will say Mori elect the president? All those things count when you put all the different variables together that it can make people lose election. You can lose election with starting with 1,000 votes. You can lose it beginning from the first one vote that you lost. You should give people less reason to want to get away from you. And guess what? These people are giving people more reason to get away from the president. which is sometimes a lot that are backing the president too. But the president responsible for some of the things that are happening in this. So now I can catch myself and say how I wanted the president from all the things that are happening. He is the leader of the country. All right? And as the leader of the country, you should supersede whatever happens, even though it is not possible for you to be in every part of Liberia, for you to be at every ministry and agency. But it is possible for you to streamline, all right, and get reports from all of those who head these various ministries and agencies. There should be standards set. We're having backroom conversation on standards, right? Yeah. You should set what you want, what you hope to achieve for your underlings. Yeah, your underlings must have something to look up to. The standard that you set, let them know say that this standard we get here, and I have to meet that standard. If you do not set standards, those standards will not be met, because people will just hear like you're operating in a very volatile society where anybody can do anything they want to do. And that is not what governance is all about. And that's why we see plenty around here. Because I belong to this party, so I can do anything. Because Wilhelmina Njala has a friend who's close to the president, and the president decides to appoint her, and she's appointed, so she cares less.
She doesn't care.
She cares less about what happens. But the repercussions are obviously on the president. Because it is his re-election bid that is under threat. So all those threats, we're not doing it for a re-election, we're doing it for the governance of the state. Because whatever happens during the tenure of President George Weah takes effect on all of us as citizens of this country. That's why Wilhelmina Njala, as health minister, got to do what she has to do. That's why Samuel Tuer, as minister of finance, has to do what he has to do. Nobody going, we will stay right here. You're not going anywhere. You're right here. We will end this tenure year. We're right here.
No running away.
No running away. We stay right here. Folks, yes, time is fast spent, Denise.
Yeah.
We've exhausted and spoken about others. Look, my people, sometimes we can sound like Pepper Bird in the morning, but at the work we go to school and say we won't do. So we got to do it. Whether it's hurting or not, we got to do it. When we come here, sometimes we can talk something, and I won't break it down so the woman who are listening to me will understand. Sometimes we come here, they say, what kind of children there with plenty sharp voices, so that the only thing they get to talk, who they to talk about government this, government that. Look, all the things that are happening in the country, everything boils down to the government. All the things that are happening in the country, everything boils down to the government. When the government not do what it's supposed to do, the private clinic that are operating will operate carelessly. The Wilhelmina Njala Hospital, because the government are doing supervision. So that the health minister part of responsibility there. The educational center, when your children are going to school, or when teachers send them who say no chalk today, we can't write because no chalk, or go bring flexibility fee, or go bring the other fee. It's because supervision is not there.
Sure.
And our government responsibility, so it will not be there. Even in private schools, because no supervision there, you will not have people doing what is right. So all the other things that we're doing in the country, it boils down to the operations of government. So there is no way we would kind on the microphone and talk, say, we talk about it and we not put the government in. It's not possible.
Not at all.
Then we just start one church program. Yeah, and be a church program or some kind of, yeah, and just be singing song here. But once it has to do with Liberia, government knew will be there.
Exactly.
Because almost everything about this country is centered around government. So, my people, that is there. Denise?
Yeah.
Now, how you want to go?
Yeah, so that's it. And you said it all. All we do here is to ensure that government, perform rightly for the Liberian people, to ensure that the needed basic social services are provided for them, that they do not lack what they need. And it's important that we hold government feet to the fire so that they can deliver as watchdog. It is our duty, and we'll do that without fear and favor of whosoever is involved. So let's continue to build and ensure that Liberia becomes the best nation that we hope to see it, Fidel.
Yes, exactly. That's what our interest is, to see Liberia better. Folks, do have yourselves a great day. It has been an interesting presentation. Tomorrow we'll hopefully have Representative Johnson Weglo here on the program tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Until then, do have yourselves a great day. Remember, our allegiance should always be to Mama Liberia. We owe this country a lot, and we must do everything to keep her peaceful and ensure that we go into elections and transition well. Folks, do have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.